Hey K-drama lovers! Today, we're going to dive into one of Netflix's most talked about series, Hellbound. In this terrifying dystopia, the terrors of hell invade the earth and shake society to its roots. From a terrible judgment to the rise of the New Truth Society, we'll trace how Hellbound building his terrifying world. Is this the future of humanity? Let's find out. Hellbound is a Korean drama series which is currently in the top 10 of Netflix Indonesia. Adapted from a webtoon comic with the same title by Yeon Sang-ho, we are again treated to a thriller genre series. Tells the story of a mysterious supernatural phenomenon where someone receives a decree from a figure believed to be an angel about when they will die and are bound by hell. This phenomenon that hit every Korean resident ultimately created a new civilization. With the emergence of profit-making religious organizations, anarchist groups, and secret law enforcers who are trying to restore world order, Hellbound opens with an explanation of a new belief or sect headed by Jang Jin-seon, who says that sinners will soon meet their punisher. Not long after, we see a man who is so scared and keeps looking at the time on his cell phone. For a moment he felt relieved because his nightmare did not appear. But that feeling didn't last long, because then 3 mysterious giant creatures that looked like apes appeared and tried to catch him. The men immediately ran and entered the busy streets of Seoul, but of course he was no match for the monster. These 3 monsters caught him and beat him until he could no longer escape. Then they let out a very bright light and burned the man until he was burned to charcoal. The nightmare began. With a very effective opening, Hellbound quickly destroyed all expectations in my head. This is not a series about these creatures. The creators are also completely uninterested in explaining any of this. Are they sent from God? What is the mechanism? Do these people really deserve to be tortured in public and then dragged to hell? All these questions are important, but the creators were more interested in depicting something more interesting. What happens when humans swallow everything they don't understand deeply? The scriptwriters, Sang-ho and Choi Kyu-seok, divided Hellbound into 2 parts. It feels like a movie with a sequel. The difference is they complement each other so that they become a unity that cannot be separated. The first part tells about how Jinsu, the leader of a cult called New Truth, indoctrinates the public about what he is trying to spread. That God is showing his power and punishing sinful humans. In this part, there is Min Hye-jin Kim Hye-no, a lawyer who inevitably has a relationship with Jinsu. The most tense part in the first part is, of course, when Park Jang-yo Kim Shin-rock, a single mother with 2 children, gets a warning that she will meet her death in the next few days. Of course, as a single mother, what she was worried about was her child. He agrees to perform and be recorded when the monsters come to see him for some money. This is when Hye-jin enters his life and ends up being dragged into an action caused by Jinsu. The fanaticism of New Truth adherents will shock you because what the creators describe feels very real. The second part of Hellbound tells about what happened several years after the first part. We only know that now New Truth has become big and has become a force that even surpasses the police. Their word is law. Conflict occurred when the newly born child of Bae Youngjae, Park Jang-min, and Song So-hye and Won Jin-na received a warning that he would die in a few days. If the New Truth says that only sinners will be punished, why is this newly born baby getting a warning? What kind of sin did he commit to get this penalty? If the first half lays the foundation of despair, the second half shows well that there is nothing stronger than fear. If you watch Train to Busan, you will know that Sang-ho really knows how to manage tension. In a very unique way, Sang-ho was able to make zombie films fresh again. In Hellbound, the most ordinary parts are the scenes when the monsters appear. Even though the scenes are well done, they feel ordinary compared to Sang-ho's skill in setting the tone. The very depressive tone of Hellbound was felt from the first episode and continued to tie me in until the last episode. Usually, when I'm engrossed in watching a Netflix series, I'm happy to jump to the next episode. In the case of Hellbound, I was forced to take a break so I could be strong to watch the next episode. Apart from being very graphic in depicting violence, Sang-ho is very skilled at painting very dark realities. Hellbound could be fiction. But the image of people becoming brutal because of fanaticism is a visual that we often see every day in the real world. Compared to the monsters, the humans in Hellbound are much more terrifying. Coupled with the brilliant ending, I can't wait to see what Sang-ho will explore in the next season. Hellbound wastes no time in surprising viewers. The story begins when a giant supernatural creature appears, violently dragging people to hell in front of a horrified crowd. These public executions, known as edicts, targeted people seemingly chosen at random. But why? Are these victims truly guilty of hidden sins, or are there dark forces behind this punishment? Enter the New Truth Society, a group that is quickly gaining power by claiming that these evil decisions are divine judgment. Led by young Jinsu, their message resonates with a frightened society. The people are desperate for answers, and the New Truth Society offers a simple one. These decrees are God's way of punishing sinners. But is it really that simple? Hellbound brilliantly explores how fear and belief can change society. As more decisions were issued, society began to abandon logic, justice, and reason, and embrace the doctrine of the new truth. This event raises a critical question. What would happen if society stopped questioning authority? How far will humanity go to justify violence if they believe it is sanctioned by God? Character in Hellbound is the point of this story. From police officers to religious leaders, each faces a moral dilemma. Should they fight the new truth or accept that the world is being judged by a higher power? One of the most interesting characters is Detective Jin Kyung-hoon, who struggles with his own beliefs after his daughter is targeted. Through their struggles, the show explores humanity's darkest fears and desperate search for meaning. But the chaos doesn't stop with the new truth. An even more dangerous faction emerges: the Arrowheads. This extremist group carries the new truth's message with extreme violence, attacking anyone they believe opposes the divine will. Hellbound uses this to show how quickly radical ideologies can spread when fear and uncertainty dominate. These scenes are brutal, but highlight the horrific breakdown of society. Law and order is breaking down, and the masses are taking matters into their own hands. The dystopian themes in these shows echo real-world fears about the consequences of unchecked power and fanaticism. How easily this can happen. Civilization collapses when the boundary between justice and cruelty disappears. Fans all over the world have been captivated by him. Hellbound. The intense storyline, shocking moments, and disturbing images have sparked endless debates online. Is the New Truth Society right? Are these decrees truly God's punishment? Or is there a hidden agenda? Theories are swirling, and viewers are eager to get the answers. One of the biggest mysteries is young Jinsu himself. As the leader of the New Truth Society, he is both charismatic and intimidating, but the true motive remains unclear. Does he truly believe in the decision, or is he using fear to do so, gain power? The show keeps us guessing, adding layers of complexity to the characters. Without giving away too much information, the season finale leaves us with more questions than answers. It's clear that the battle between those who believe in the decision and those who oppose it is far from over. The ending sets the stage for a potential second season, and we don't looking forward to seeing how the story unfolds. Will we learn the truth about this supernatural event? And what will happen to those who challenge the new truth? Hellbound has a very interesting premise and story concept as a supernatural thriller drama. As mentioned in the synopsis, there are many new organizations and groups that were born from the phenomenon of hellish terror, which is the main subject of the story. We can see that the scriptwriter wants to form a new civilization, where a sinner receives punishment from God, giving rise to various new interpretations, exposing the failure of state institutions to enforce the law. Eventually, there was chaos, vigilantism through social media, leading to a dystopian era dominated by a new religious organization, the New Truth, and an anarchist group called the Arrowhead. Sounds very interesting, right? Unfortunately, the Hellbound series was unable to present a story in accordance with the expectations that emerged from the synopsis. Either because the scriptwriter has cut from the source material, or there are other aspects, perhaps limited episode slots. Hellbound presents a revolution of belief in a country, which can be used as fictional material that can convince the audience. Speaking of Season 2, fans are already speculating about what will happen next. Some believe the decision is a form of manipulation by a higher power, while others think the new Truth Society is hiding something much more sinister. What's your theory? Let us know in the comments below. So are Hellbound worth watching? Very. The show offers a chilling exploration of humanity's darkest fears and the dangers of blind faith. With its thought-provoking story, unforgettable characters, and intense action, we deliver Hellbound rate 9 out of 10. But beware, this is not a show for the faint of heart. Thank you for watching our review Hellbound. What are you thinking about Hellbound? Do you believe in the decision, or is there something more sinister going on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and see you next time for more drama, breakdowns, and reviews.